So what we're going to do is just a beginning practice of how to join two pieces of clay together. So under this damp rag, I have some clay. I'm going to cut this little ball right here in half. I'm going to wedge it a little bit on my little wedging table here. Make sure there's no air bubbles. I'm going to kind of pound this into a rectangular prism. I'm going to flatten it out. The first thing you must do is score both sides of your clay. So I'm going to attach my clay right like that, kind of making like just a right angle. So I can mark this where I want the clay to be scored. And make sure that you make sufficient marks. You don't have to go down too deep, but you do have to make enough scratches in the clay that it looks like it's been scored. Now on this side, I'm going to be doing right here on the side of the clay. Okay, so I don't have any slip made yet, so I'm just going to put a little water right here on this scratched mark. Rescore it a little bit, maybe a little bit more water. Do the same thing here. You don't want to get it too wet, because if you get it too wet, then it's going to fall apart, because the clay particles continue to absorb the water molecules. So after you've scored and slipped both sides, you're going to push them together with enough pressure that you see the slip that you've put in there squeeze out. You're going to wipe off any excess. Okay, then turn it over and press back there too. Squeeze out the excess, because again, that's excess moisture that you don't want to stay there. Smooth it out. Make sure you get those little corners right there, nice angle on them. I'm sorry, I have a boo-boo on my hand. I cut my hand the first week of school. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, just to reinforce this corner here, I'm going to put a few score marks just right here in that wet clay. I'm going to take a little piece of clay right here. I'm going to roll it into a snake form, or a coil as you call it. I'm going to dip it in the water, press it into that score marks that I just made. Take my sculptor's thumb. Properly joined your two pieces of clay, you're just going to hold it right here like this, and you're just going to swing it back and forth. Now the clay should break off in my fingers before that joint that I have just put these two pieces together comes apart.